everybody! Thank you so much for joining me on another episode of, I don't even know what to call my channel yet, but I really appreciate you being here and I just want you to hang in there. We're going to talk about some very helpful tips on how to join a band. Alright. If you've already clicked on this video, it means that there's something tingling inside of you that wants to be in a band. And I don't blame you for it. Who doesn't? So if you're a musician or you're not a musician but you fancy being in a band, watch till the end of this video. I'm gonna show you that it's not really that scary to join a band for the first time. I'll give you some tips on how you can find a band, where to look for it, and what action you can take to make it happen. Because definitely no one is going to come knocking on your door and asking you to be part of their band. No, that's not gonna happen. I wish. So right off the bat, let me tell you, you don't have to be a professional at anything to join a band. There's all kinds of levels. You can go in a beginner band, you can be intermediate, advanced, whatever. You can be in bands where they pay you. You can be in bands where you pay them. But if it's the music you want and it's the experience you want, there's a way to get in. And my recommendation is do whatever you can to get into a band for the first time, and the rest will follow. So why join a band? Well, I think that any musician, whether it's a singer, instrument player, you know, whatever your role is, you do want to have that live experience. I personally think that every artist ultimately, no matter what you do in your bedrooms, if you're practicing hard, making your beats, recording, you're working on your album, but if you're not getting that live experience and you're not performing for people, there's always that part of you that's just not satisfied. Do musicians agree with me? Let me know, comment. I personally think that the magic of music is in performing for others. No matter if the audience is a small crowd or a large one, or if it's just your bandmates watching you get stressed, get sweaty, and screw up, you need to have that experience to get past that stuff and turn into a professional. That's what you ultimately want, right? So I think tomorrow is late to join a band. You should start from today. And to be honest with you, I have had a lot of struggles finding bands as well. I don't blame you, but I don't want you to think about all the excuses why you can't join the band. So don't tell me that the place you live in doesn't have musicians, because that's not true. Musicians are every corner of every city in any part of the world, and that's just the beauty of music. So you have all the resources. You definitely have a room where you can practice. You got to think creatively. You have your voice. You've got instruments, whether they're shitty ones, it doesn't matter. It's the soul that wants to express itself, and you've got to make the atmosphere for it. So no matter what your age is, where you are, what level you are, you can still join a band, and trust me, I've done that in the most weirdest circumstances and it worked. I've joined a lot of bands actually, and I would say that the times when I'm practicing in a band are the most joyful times of my life. I just got goosebumps saying that. It's coming from the bottom of my heart. Being part of a band, performing live, performing on stage is just mind-blowing. But you need to take it step by step. So I know it seems like a lot of work, but it starts with joining a band and practicing in a band. And doing so will improve your musicianship. Obviously, you're gonna be practicing hard because you don't want to embarrass yourself in front of others. So waking up early in the morning, or you know, spending that extra hour on that song to figure out the chords and stuff, it's good for you. And you also get a sense of rhythm, because when you're always practicing by yourself, you're like, oh, I sound so good, I can nail this. But when you go in a band and there's like all kinds of sounds surrounding your head, and the drums are coming from here, the singer is there, the bass is there, and you know, sometimes they screw up too, and you get lost on your way and you lose your count, you lose your tempo, and you're like, holy shit, why is it so different in here? Well, that's good. You want new challenges for yourself as a musician, right? Because you want to grow, and this is a never-ending journey for all of us, which makes life beautiful and adventurous, I would say. Not only that, but also performing in front of other people watching you and getting rid of that constant consciousness, especially for singers. I mean, I'm a singer. Sometimes I play guitar in the band, but I'm mainly a front singer, and I noticed that it's just that when people start watching me, everything is so different. Why is it so different? I've been doing this in my room like countless times, and now I'm just conscious of my whole body and I'm being awkward, you know. I have to keep repeating these stuff so that I get to that level where I can just walk in and nail a song.
Walking around and I found you there, talking to you, and I lost my cares, taking my time.
Alright, so now let's talk about how you can find a band to join. I would obviously start by telling you to reach out to your musician friends. Do you have any musician friends? Do you have any relatives who play guitar, or there's a drummer who's a friend of a friend? Maybe you can reach out to them, spread the word among your friends, build your own network, because finding musician friends is really helpful for your life as well. You know, building your own community where you connect, you have the same taste, you have the same hobbies. That's the dream life, basically. So if you have musician friends, you won the lottery. Please don't be fussy and go and jam with them. You're not going to be perfect at first. They're not going to be perfect, but the experimentation will create such beautiful memories that your friendships will grow so much deeper. But if you don't have musician friends, which was the case for me because I had moved to another country and I'd lost all my connections and all my friends, I did not sit at home and wait for somebody to come out and discover me. I have been using some online platforms to find bands, which have actually worked for me. These are just the ones that I have personally used. I'm pretty sure there's countless of them on the internet. Guys, if you want to help out the community, definitely put your own suggestions down in the comments. This is what our society needs. Musicians helping musicians, and musicians finding musicians. That's another thing. The ones that I've used so far that have actually worked, and I feel so blessed for this technology that exists right now. Starnow.ca. I found a band through starnow.ca, which I'm really grateful for. I've had real magical experiences with that. Kijiji.ca is like, you know, the websites where you put your stuff to sell. So if you're not in Canada, I'm pretty sure your country has like something like that. There's another one called the Craigslist in Canada, and also Facebook. There's all kinds of advertisements there. You just need to go and search. And another good one is Bandcamp, a platform where you can have your own profile and you just leave it there and people come actually discover you. So maybe I was wrong. You can sit at home and somebody will come discover you, but that's only if you have a proper profile set up and you are present in all your social media. So that's my other point. You need to get your portfolio ready. You don't have to be a professional, but people need to see what level you're at. You might be a professional and not be picked for a band because, you know, those people, they don't want someone so much higher than them to be part of their beginner band, and it totally makes sense to me. So if you're a beginner, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. My personal experience, I was so desperate to play guitar in a band. I was just tired of being the front singer only. I wanted a new challenge for myself. So I went to a rehearsal room, I recorded myself on guitar while I was singing one of my favorite songs. It was a cover song, and I just recorded myself with my phone. It wasn't good quality at all, but you could hear what I was playing, you could see my level, you could kind of see my face and stuff, and I put that on my YouTube channel. I had like 2 followers or whatever, and that was the video that I you know, shared with anyone who had an advertisement up, and I was like, this is my level, hit me up if you want to jam sometime, or you know, stuff like that. I'm just saying that people who are looking for bandmates, they want to see your level. So you need to have some kind of video that represents you ready and uploaded, so that if anyone asks you, hey, do you have any examples of your playing? Do you have any videos? You can just share that link with them. This is kind of like marketing, but the honest type of marketing, where you need to show your full potential, so don't undersell yourself. But you also need to keep it honest, because if you go in the band and you can't do what you promised that you can, it's just gonna be embarrassing for yourself. So don't do that. Just be yourself and be proud of what you are. There's nothing wrong with being a beginner. And I also want to let you know that it's okay to get rejected for a band. Hell yes. It's gonna happen so many times. You better get used to it. I've been rejected so many times, but I don't take it personally. I'm just like, okay, it makes sense. They want someone who can play that solo and I can't play it. Maybe I should keep practicing, and in the meantime look for another band who's at the same level as me. And I did that so many times. I just went out there and searched for it. I've come to a point where I can't handle all of these bands together, and like I have to pick and choose which ones I want to be in. Even though I emphasize, I'm still not a pro guitar player. Oh, I forgot to tell you about Bumble. That's another app that you might want to have a profile in. Bumble's like finding people for work, for collaborations. Make a profile on Bumble and be like, I'm looking for bandmates. Turn the notifications on and let people come to you. Just be present in all of these social platforms that are available to us now and are connecting the whole world to one another. So you can definitely connect to the people living in the same city as you. It would be ridiculous if that doesn't happen. Just try it. There is also another trick that you can use to find your first band. Taking music lessons will always give you that benefit of having that music/life mentor, your music teacher. If you tell your teacher that you're eager to join a band, just tell them that you are desperately looking for a band and you would appreciate it if they could connect you to other students that they know. If it's a music school, all the better. They definitely have band programs. If they don't, just suggest it to the management and be like, it would be nice if we could group our students together. You know, there should be a demand first for them to take the action, and it totally makes sense. So just get creative. Make sure you spread the word around. Tell everyone that you are committed, you are very interested, because commitment is so important in joining a band. Sometimes when musicians see how eager you are, they're like, okay, she's gonna be on time, she's gonna make it to every rehearsal. When you keep repeating something, you're definitely gonna nail it. But guys, please, please, don't ever think that you're not good enough or you're not ready, or don't be afraid of rejection. You're the only one who's gonna remember it. Let me put it that way. They're all gonna forget. So just go and put yourself out there. I know it's very difficult to be vulnerable and put yourself in a position of hearing no, but fuck that. What if they say yes? Just go for it and experience the magic. Part of the reason why I wanted to make this video in the first place was to tell the world, the non-musician world, that they're missing out on a lot. It's not as scary as it seems, this whole music scene, especially the live music scene. Give yourself that chance to feel that joy, because you only live once. And lastly, if all else fails, I think it's a sign that you should start your own band. It takes management skills, it takes entrepreneurship skills, but it's worth it. Hey, I also wanted to say that, like, if you are stressed about how to like use the stuff in a rehearsal room, well, why don't you go and book like 2 hours of practice? You know, just work with the knobs and figure out how to use the cables and how you can crank an amp maybe, so that you get that stress out of you, that you kind of like don't embarrass yourself in front of strangers. I don't know, whatever's the fear that's on your mind. Okay, that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you got useful stuff out of this. Let me know in the comments what your deep dark fears are, because I totally understand and I want to be here to help from my own little experience of going through this journey all alone and by myself. I'm here for support, and if there's anything you would like to ask or you like me to make a video on, definitely comment it below. Don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned for more. I hope to see you again very soon.